Poor little Chris Watts is not doing well in his new life in prison, and there has been activity with the former house that they inhabited, and we're going to talk about both the updates in today's video. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. So I had one of those moments yesterday that made me realize how happy I am with Aura and why I use them. So I was getting ready to run out and I was doing my whole little thing of checking balances and paying bills and all that type of stuff. So one of my cards that I don't carry a balance on, but I like to check it just to make sure everything's cool. I go there and it's like, oh, you need to verify your identity. Call us. While I call. The password had been expired. I start having a panic attack, okay? Because I'm like, okay, this seems like somebody's gotten in here and changed all my stuff. Why isn't this working? Well, the dude on the phone walks me through it, gets me in, changes the password, all that type of stuff, but he has to do all this verification of my identity, right? So I get in there, the card's fine, nothing's used it. It's just I haven't, done anything with it in a long time. So that being said, I'm looking at my phone, literally almost instantaneously after this, I get an email from Aura. Please review, fill in the blank, verified your identity. And it says, so-and-so tried to verify your identity. Hey, Paul, so-and-so used an online service to verify your identity. It's usually done before important transactions to help prevent fraud. And then it says details, verification type, high-risk transaction. I was literally like this. I was like, wow, this really does work. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I've absolutely loved Aura, but that's not the only reason. As a matter of fact, did you hear about the recent Ticketmaster drama? So they were hacked, and I'm talking data of over 560 million users were put up for sale on the dark web. I'm talking names, addresses, email, phone number, credit card, you name it, okay? Now, this leads to more spam and at worst fraud. And guess what? Just tell me one thing that Ticketmaster did about it. Well, I've got one for you. And nothing, zero, and nada. Okay. They said, we really don't think that the hack would have a material impact on our overall business. Okay, thank you very much. And most of these businesses, they will happily collect your data, but do very little to protect it or anything once the breach has taken place, which is another reason why I use Aura and why I suggest to use them. Now, it's not just that though. There's so many other things. Let me name off a few for you. We're talking transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, password manager, parental controls and identity theft insurance. And y'all, this is all in one app in one spot. It makes it so much easier. I'm loving the aspect of being able to keep everything organized in one spot and not putting myself out there on Front Street for any of these breaches or anything like that. And you can too, because Aura is hooking the squad up. Okay. So look, go ahead and go check it out. You can go to aura.com/reporting live. That's aura.com/reporting live to get hooked up. You're going to be able to try those first 2 weeks for free. Now that's also linked down in the description below. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. My name's Paul, and like I said, today we're going to be revisiting the Chris Watts case. The way this video will be laid out is I'm going to be reviewing a couple of different articles, one related to his newfound or his ongoing fears and discomforts, poor little thing, and his prison life, and another with some updates on the house that he and his late family occupied. So I'll put them up on the screen and I'll discuss them. Now, very quickly, for those who aren't familiar with this case, just about everybody in the world probably knows this. It's so horrible, but I'll just go over it very quickly for you to get us all on the same page as to how we arrived at this video. So 2018 August, Chris Watts, he was married to Shanann Watts, and they had two children, Bella and Celeste, and an unborn child as well. So this would be up for speculation for a while, I guess you could say. What I mean by that is Chris's story changed back and forth and whatnot, but essentially he would take the life of Shanann and his two girls. He would dispose of them in an absolutely horrible, unfathomable way. Now, eventually Chris would plead guilty. There would not be a trial. A lot of this information would not come out. And what I mean by that, a lot of information, there's a lot of questions left unanswered, right? It's just certain things. This blew up on the internet. Now, she was currently pregnant as well during that time, she and Shanann, so he was hit with charges for that as well. Now, he would receive 3 consecutive life sentences. He ain't going nowhere, okay? That's layman terms, right? He doesn't deserve to go anywhere. Well, he is housed in prison, and he's having issues in said prison. Now, that's going to be just the quick little, overview of the case. Like I said, there's entire channels, entire communities dedicated to this case, but this is not to go into all that. This is just to talk specifically about this. And let's go ahead and look at the first article, and we're going to look at the one about his prison life and the discomforts thereof. Now, you'll see on the screen here, this is from the Post, and it says, Chris Watts, who emmed wife and smothered his little girls as they begged for mercy, lives in fears of fellow inmates. They want to unalive him, it says, by Steve Helling, and it's published July 4th, 2024. Like I said, this is the Post. Let's go ahead on to the first thing here. You see a little infamous picture of Chris in court, and it does say that Chris Watts is in a hell of his own making as he serves out a life sentence in a small cell at Dodge Correctional in Waupun, Wisconsin. Now, this also is made famous by Stephen Avery. They seem to house a lot of kind of controversial people there. So it says that he hardly talks to anybody. He reads his Bible. He ponders, the wife and 2 daughters that he ruthlessly took their lives of in 2018. Now, it says that the Post has spoken to 3 people who had contact with Chris Watts. They all say that he lives a very sedentary lifestyle. He's gained weight. He's lost a lot of his hair. Now, it says what's more is the Triple M avoids eye contact with other inmates for his own safety. When he attends Bible studies, he often keeps to himself and doesn't talk to new people. Now, before we go further, this is one of those cases where I've always been like, how is this guy still alive? You see how things like this go incarcerated, right? For people who perpetuate these crimes against defenseless members of our society, oftentimes children, oftentimes women, oftentimes elderly. This doesn't go over well. And especially when it's things against children and whatnot. And especially with what he did, it's bad, okay? Bad. It shook, I would say, the world to its core. That's how heinous these crimes were. So the fact that he's still walking around shocks me. I'm not going to lie. Let's keep going. Now, this little quick snippet here says, a lot of guys would like to get their hands on him, said Eddie Neves, who spent a year at the prison alongside Watts. Continues, he took the life of 2 little girls who did nothing to deserve it. He's the lowest of low at Dodge. A lot of people want to get their revenge for those girls. Now here you can see in the next little clip, you see his family, all the members who he took the lives thereof. It's incredibly tragic. Now it says at the top here, Watts admitted to strangling his wife Shanann in their Colorado home, August 2018. He then drove her body to a job site at the oil company where he worked and disposed of it. He returned home and then smothered his daughters, Bella 4 and Celeste 3, as the little girls begged for mercy. After he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, prison officials arranged to have him transferred to Wisconsin for his safety. Now again, his story changed numerous times. He tried to blame this on Shanann. If you follow the case and you watch the interviews that he did with the police and stuff like that, he would basically take some of their ideas and he tried to pretend that Shanann had done something in a retaliation. He did something to her and then try to cover the crime up. Obviously, he did the whole thing of like, where are they? They're missing. He was on the porch swaying back and forth, pretending to cry, doing all sorts of stuff. Her best friend, I believe her name's Nicole, is one of the sounding voices in this because she knew something wasn't right when she had not heard from Shanann, and she was like sounding alarms like, hey, we need to get to the house, we need to get to the house. And if you watch the body cam footage of the police and all these people arriving at the house, calling Chris, he's super calm, acting super paranoid at other times about Shanann, and even the neighbor says he never acts like this. Something is totally up. He very quickly was called. Now, he was allegedly doing this all over the affair of Nicole Kissinger, NK as many people refer to her because of some situations with using her name online. She became very infamous through this. And again, if you've watched this case, I implore you to go watch, just Google Nicole Kissinger interrogation or interview, Chris Watts interrogation interview. You have to watch these, okay? Very fascinating, but let's keep going for the current article. Now, it starts right off here at the top talking about, they protect him at Dodge. The guards weren't always around. Everyone would take a swing at him. And it said that those sentiments are echoed by a former cellmate from 2018 to 20 that said Watts is often in danger behind bars. He's an outcast, said Dylan Tallman, he's pictured below, who worked on a yet unpublished devotional book with Watts. When people find out that his victims are two little girls, they want to harm him. He had nowhere else to turn. I think I was his only friend. Now, again, this just goes into some of the backstory I talked about his affair with NK, who was a co-worker. And it goes on down to say, the same gentleman talking, every day he thinks about what he did. He has photos of the girls and he prays for forgiveness every day, but he knows he can't undo what he did. Now, down below that, it does say that a spokesperson for the Department of Corrections in Wisconsin said that he hasn't had any scheduled visitors for several weeks, occasionally a pastoral visit, and his mom visited earlier this year. It does say that he has plenty, he has prison pen pals, mostly women. This does not surprise me. And this is a different article here, but this person says that, and this is Sherilyn Cade, if you follow this again, this was a true crime book that she wrote about Chris, about her dealings with him. Major drama surrounding it. So many of these books that come out with people close to the cases, thinking of Murdoch, I'm thinking of this, that it then turns out it's plagiarized, it's this, it's that. It's drama. So this is one of those kind of situations. But it does say here at the top, at times when he would talk about the M's, his eyes would turn so black. His one-time pen pal, Sherilyn Cadle, told Inside Edition in 2021, he would just get a different look on his face, and he talked about it so nonchalantly, like going down to get a cup of coffee. He's effed in the head, added Neves. When you're in prison with a lot of guys who do really bad things, you're still considered the worst person there. You're just evil. And I would tend to agree. Again, like I'll say it again, I'm surprised he's still alive. I'm surprised the man is still alive. Now, before we get to some final thoughts, let's go look at this update with the house. Now, here the next article we're going to be reviewing. It says the infamous Colorado home where Chris Watts unalived his wife finds a buyer, by Rachel Stoltz, July 6, 2024. This is very recent. You see the house outside there. It's become very infamous, this home, these images. Now, it does say that the home finally attracted a buyer after several months and going through two price cuts. And then we'll just look at the middle section here on there, and it says the Frederick, Colorado house, which was the subject of the 2020 Netflix true crime documentary American M, That Family Next Door. It was originally listed for $775,000, a 30% markup from when it was last sold in 2022 for $600,000. It says the home is listed for $749,500, pending sale status after a few concessions. The price was reduced to $750,000 in April and another $500 in May, less $500. And it was offering $15,000 towards a buyer's interest rate buy down as well. Now it does say over here that neighbors previously, well, first of all, it says that the new owners had the thing for like 18 months. Neighbors previously told Realtor.com that people drive by the home on weekends or stop and take pictures. There have even been attempted break-ins, likely by those fascinated with the crime. 6,200 square feet, 3-car garage, open floor, chef's kitchen, granite countertops. I mean, you name it, it just keeps going on and on. The HOA is only $70 a month. That is insanely cheap, okay? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now I'm just going to put a couple of pictures up here of it. I'm looking at the house on the outside here. Again, this has become just very infamous with these crimes. Also, for me personally, when I look at this photo of the living room and the staircase and all that, it absolutely haunts me. It's just whatever took place in that house absolutely haunts me. It's like I can hear the pitter-patter of feet. I can hear Shanann laughing. I can hear life happening, and then also the absence there of it. Now this final picture here as well in the kitchen. Think about how many videos we saw of Shanann standing in that kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It's like little moments like that that make this so haunting. And I do believe that with this particular case, that's one reason why it hit so hard, is because there's so much video footage of the family, of the children, of Shanann interacting with people, with Chris, how much she kind of doted on him, that type thing. And then obviously the heinousness of what he did. I mean, it's just, and the disposal thereof, especially of the little girls, and all the drama that ensued with the case. So personally, while I don't really like to sit here and wish some harm on somebody, do I feel bad for Chris? Yeah, no. Okay. Again, personally, if I was him, every day I walk the earth would be a blessing at this point. Because these things that he's sitting in jail over or prison over, they don't bode well with anybody. And I'm surprised the guards, and I'm not trying to say they're unprofessional or anything like that, but there hasn't been an accident where they turn their back a little bit. Maybe because it's so high profile. I do not see him living out a natural life, but who am I, right? I could be completely wrong, so we'll see. So that's a let me know what you think down in the comment section. Did you follow this case when this came out? This case was a lot of people's entrance into true crime, because this, I mean, I'm talking worldwide impact, right? And a lot of people followed this, and I mean, just it was amazing how much it blew up. Not even online, but everywhere. And obviously, the severity of the tragedy, it's awful. Of course it did. So anyways, that's it. I do appreciate you watching. Sorry this is a shorter video today, but I just wanted to come in here and talk about this and kind of go over it, talk about some of my thoughts with it. So that's it. Drop some comments off. Drop some sofas off in the comment section so that myself and Roscoe and Spirit can come hang out with us in the comment section, talk about this case, all the other ones we talk about here at the Sofa Squad, and until we meander our way down to the comment section, we'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. Also, if you're looking for merch, be sure to check out my Teespring store. I'll put that up here. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.